You know, after watching something as depressing as Hell Girl, I really need to lift up my spirits. And what better way than with my number 2 pick?
Where monsters rampage, I'm there to take them down. Where treasure glitters, I'm there to claim it. Where an enemy rises to face me, victory will be mine!
Oh, I really love this series. I originally encountered this anime by looking at Funimation's previous website, and for some reason I was drawn to this anime. I wasn't sure what looked appealing about it, but I felt confident it was something that I enjoyed. For starters, there was this thumbnail which featured a girl, but what drew my curiosity was the title, The Slayers, which sounded nothing at all like something girly. I mean, just listen to this.
Next week on The Slayers, Lena Inverse takes on a new foe, possibly a new ally. Will it make her any money? Find out next week on The Slayers. So don't miss The Slayers.
So what's appealing about this show? Well, recently I had a college professor which she made me a bit of a feminist, although I think that's kind of obvious by this point. Because of this newfound knowledge, when I saw Lena Inverse, she immediately broke those cliche women stereotypes of women being degraded and used as a marketing tool. But with Lena, she intentionally mocked the typical women behavior to some extent. I mean, she wants to have a Prince Charming because of his money. She's still concerned of her small stature and breast size, yet they show good angles of her from time to time. She still can behave like a girl when it comes to jewelry and other stuff, but other times, this is how she behaves, beating the shit out of everybody. Oh, I should mention, this anime uses the same sound effects of a certain shonen anime. I'm sure you can guess what it is.
Last time on The Slayers,
the battle against the demons continue. Meanwhile, Lena discovers the secrets of the universe, but what will happen to the rest of the gang? Find out now on
The Slayers.
Yes, for whatever reason, The Slayers uses the exact same sound effects from Dragon Ball Z. I don't know why. I mean, it makes sense for One Piece to have the same sound effects, since both One Piece and DBZ are drawn by Toei Animation. But with The Slayers, they have no relation to any of these shows. Hell, this was before the One Piece manga. Anyways, after Lena's initial entrance, she is followed by the same gang. And even though she can easily take them out again, this guy appears, and this is where the break between masculinity and feminism occurs. Have any of you guys got this uncomfortable feeling before, when you're not sure if you should open a door to a woman due to either being called a gentleman or might be viewed as insulting them? Well, the scene is like that, but only backwards.
I can take care of... Oh wait, this is the part where the heroine's supposed to be all scared and shrieky, so I gotta play this part right. So give me a chance to act all helpless and insane with fright. Eek! Save me, please! Help me, please!
As long as you're all right. Huh?
He's dazzled by my beauty.
Oh, great. It's a kid.
What?
I thought I was saving a babe, a luscious damsel in distress. Not some flat-chested little girl.
So what if I'm kind of short for my age? And a little underdeveloped, too. Damn, why do they always find the stuff you're sensitive about?
I'm out here risking my life for a toothpick.
It's times like this I wish my body was better and my hearing was worse. Doesn't he realize how lucky he was to meet me?
Man, am I out of luck.
Damn! I wasn't even in any danger. But I guess I should thank him. Doesn't hurt to be polite, and maybe he'll succumb to my charm. Ow! I can't thank you enough for saving me from those terrible bandits!
Oh, well, sure, anytime, no problem. You aren't hurt or anything, are you, little girl?
Did you say little girl?
It's dangerous for kids to go out walking alone. Were you with your mommy or your daddy by any chance?
Stupid jerk. No, I'm all by myself.
Oh, that's too dangerous. I know. Why don't you let me walk you home?
Excuse me.
Which way is your house?
Hold it.
This way?
Will you shut up? I'm traveling alone. I was headed for Atlas City when I got lost, but maybe since it's so dangerous, you could take me there. You can't be buying this dopey act.
This is it! This is my new mission. From now on, you can depend on me.
Huh?
You're lost, you're defenseless, and you've got to rely on me.
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not...
No need to thank me. I understand completely.
No, you don't. Look, thanks for your help, but I gotta get going to Atlas City.
All right, I'll take you to Atlas City, if that is your wish.
Thus, the journey begins, and enough about breaking gender roles, let's speak about the actual story. The anime is mainly placed in a fantasy setting, with magic being the most powerful weapon in this world, along with various demons. Now, magic is very detailed here, that is classified into black magic, white magic, and several other categories with the addition of various spells, but don't try to remember them all, it's not mandatory. There's very few details to remember about this anime, but when it does, it takes me a few minutes to understand it. The only thing I can't fully remember is their world's history and certain wars that involve demons, but as I said before, details aren't too important here, for the characters are what made the series. Most episodes of The Slayers revolve around getting members of their team and trying to get a meal, similar to Cowboy Bebop, but there's a plot. Most plots revolve around fighting some sorcerer or a demon. The only real detail you need to know about this anime is this little narration. There once was a demon that couldn't be killed, but was able to be cut into 7 pieces, and each one of those pieces became a demon, thus giving you an idea where most of the plots will come from. There are also several historical events which can be best explained by the Slayer's website. The only odd thing about this anime is the violence and its usage for comedy, for it's difficult to tell when a character dies or not. For example, episode 1 has Lina attacking this gang, and this attack apparently killed their leader.
Just flying in with that fancy magic and blowing us all away, and then offing the boss with that human torch number. I gotta be honest, the reason I originally followed you out here was so I could kill you and avenge the boss. You know, honor among thieves and all that stuff. Just give back our loot, and if you use your magic to help us, we'll forget about you killing the boss and let bygones be bygones.
Next, in the same episode, a man gets burned by a dragon and yet he's okay. Then other times the violence remains goofy, or in this case it could almost turn a little sane.
She's hurt real bad.
Damn it! Amelia!
Don't move, okay?
It's no use. A recovery spell can't cure something this bad.
Sylphiel. If only Sylphiel were here with us.
Yeah, I suppose those who are familiar with Trigun can be okay with watching the sudden shifts. Now I should mention that this anime has several seasons, OVAs, and movies, and to avoid getting lost, here's a timeline. Now the first 3 seasons are titled The Slayers Next, and The Slayers Try. The first season is probably the slowest of the bunch, and it tends to reuse the same animation footage for the spells. But don't worry, it all pays off towards the end of the season of 26 episodes. Season 2, titled Next, is when things get serious for the most part, and there's about 5 villains in this arc of 26 episodes. Personally, towards the end of this arc, I was getting reminded of Trigun due to catastrophic events. Season 3, titled Try, is, well, probably the last successful one for it. It actually has about 4 episodes of filler, and quite honestly, when comparing it to the conclusion of Season 2, it's not as big. Basically, Season 1 builds up for Season 2, but by Season 3 it feels like a little bigger, but at the same time it doesn't. I also noticed that the animation quality decreased a bit, or at the very least the colors look very faded and light compared to the previous 2. The next seasons are Evolution and Revolution R, but they each only have 13 episodes and I have yet to see these. As you can tell from the pictures, it was made quite recently, and from what I've heard, Evolution begins a little loud and rowdy, and the characters are a bit more over the top than what they used to be. Also, the actors have a little trouble returning to their roles, but they eventually start sounding right by the end of the first episode, and things get better by Evolution R. There is also a 6-episode OVA series and 5 movies which are dubbed by ADV Films, meaning that all of the actors are different, and unfortunately the movies are out of print. The OVAs, which are still available in one box, features Lina in solo adventures before the start of the anime series, where she spends time with the character Naga the Serpent, the only real fanservice character of the show. Also, the odd thing about these OVAs are the order of episodes. For example, you should completely skip the Evil Chimera Plan episode, for it's honestly annoying and not very funny. Plus, it ruins your first impressions of Naga the Serpent, so I recommend you begin with the second disc, which demonstrates Lina's first encounter with Naga the Serpent. I haven't seen the movies, but out of the 5, only the last one features the entire Slayers team, while the rest is purely Lina and Naga. The first 3 seasons are available in one box set of 78 episodes. I should mention that Slayers was originally dubbed by Central Park Media? I don't know. Surprisingly, most of these actors will later work for 4Kids on Pokemon. I'm not kidding. I will say for the most part the dub is about average, for there are some actors that are underplaying their roles, but depending what their dialogue is, they may be able to pull it off. Oh, now that I'm on the subject, there are 3 actors who get replaced during the second half of the first season. Basically, the reason why the Slayers reached this high was due to comedy and for the lovable cast. Among animes that I've seen with groups, this one is unlike any other, for everyone in this group has a major character flaw. Lina Inverse, for instance, is best described as a cross between Nami and Vash's Stampede, for she has a reputation of being one of the most dangerous sorceresses in the whole land of insert name here, but unfortunately she's incredibly selfish to the point where she's more of an anti-hero. Gary Gabriel is probably the world's greatest swordsman, but his intelligence is, well, it's not something to brag about. Amelia suffers from this over-the-top hero complex who heavily believes in justice, and this leads to many gags. We have Soul Goddess, who is probably the most reasonable character of the bunch, but one can only stay sane for so long when hanging around these people. Surprisingly, the Slayers are kind of in the underrated section, so people, if you enjoyed this anime, then spread the word. From an anime that appeared in the 90s, it's still far from being called old, and its comedy still holds to this day. It also contains various battles and an interesting mythology along with some romance. Season 2 for the win.